Yeah, I forget what it's called. Crap, I didn't sign up for it yet. That sucks. Why can't
I have heard about this. Actually, Google released that spec for free, but it's another.
Did you find the 20 questions?
I found the holiday one.
Oh, okay.
You remember those? We used to. Oh no, 20 short answer questions for anyone.
Okay, good.
What about the one that I modified the latest? August 9th, 2005. Were you still in high school then?
No, I was in college.
Were you?
I'm good. Okay, 20 short questions.
I have them right here. It's. I'm not gonna. I don't want to.
Is it? Well, I'm gonna bring it up on my computer too. What's it called?
The name of the document was 20 short answer questions for
20
anyone.
spelled out or 20?
20 spelled out.
And I imagine it's probably, here we go.
It's
for the holiday for anyone. Okay.
For anyone.
August 9th, 2005.
Yeah.
A new search feature in Windows
is nice. It's very
nice. Makes you
but you have Windows and Mac. Do you have a preference? No. Save it for the show.
Mac.
Don't tell us.
Don't.
We do this as we start to come up with.
Don't tell
Joe and I
us.
never have any meaningful conversations unless it's on the radio.
Yeah, we say, oh, whoa, save that for the show.
And you only
Quiet,
talk
save
to
it.
each other through the microphone.
No, save it for the show.
Our very first show ever, we only have 40 minutes. He forgot to push record. We had Sandra Ali on that show, and he was like, he just was. Whoops.
Okay.
It's like, Joe, put your tongue in your mouth, Joe, and push record. Who are you calling? Oh, you're testing?
Talk shoe.
Oh, talk shoe.
So this makes it so we can stream live right now. Do you know all this stuff? Have you ever actually, honestly, have you ever listened to the show? Save it for the show. Save it for the
No, I've never listened to the show.
Really?
No, I haven't listened to it.
What's your title at the station?
Radio facilitator.
Radio facilitator. Okay.
We are now being joined to work. We are unmuted.
If I rub my beard on the mic, do you hear that? A little bit.
Sound effects.
Let me try it again. Yeah, now I do.
Hey, we have. Oh, okay.
Ustream is broadcasting, but it's not recording. But now we are going to start recording Ustream.
Pardon me.
And we're going to start recording TalkShoe. Hopefully. In a sec. Wait, TalkShoe. Recorded live. Okay, we're ready to go. So the Brian and Joe Radio Show.
Episode 29. We're potted down.
You're not way potted down. You're potted off.
I don't even have the audio. I can't hear. We're not allowed to listen to the opening?
Sure you can.
WV.
Do you hear that?
Oh, I hear that. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
WVQC, as a community radio station, serves only to open its airwaves to responsible divergent points of view. The opinions expressed during the Brian and Joe radio show do not reflect the views of WVQC, Media Bridges, its staff, or Board of Trustees. The opinions expressed are solely those of the host or the show's staff or today's guests. Thank you for listening to WVQC Cincinnati. Have thoughts about the show? Something you want to say, but after you heard the podcast or after the show is over? That's okay. Just call or send a text message to the Brian and Joe Radio Show's listener line at 513-443-BJRS. That's 513-443-BJRS or 443-2577.
Up next, I hope you'll enjoy a skit by Pedro Sanchez.
Main engine start.
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Liftoff.
Welcome to the Brian and Joe Radio Show. It's episode 29 of the Brian and Joe Radio Show from downtown Cincinnati. And we have got one heck of a show planned for you today. Live with us in studio, Katie Finnegan, the low-power FM coordinator for Media Bridges, otherwise the only person who can fire Brian and Joe. That's live today on the Brian and Joe Radio Show from the Gwynn Building in downtown Cincinnati. How many times can I say downtown Cincinnati? I wonder. I don't know.
Welcome to the Brian and Joe Show. I'm Brian Mueller.
It's the Brian and Joe Radio Show.
Nice to see you, Joe.
You said Brian and Joe Show. You left out radio.
I said it again. I didn't say downtown. Oh, I just
Man. All right.
Oh, it's so nice to be here again this afternoon.
It is.
In studio. It's, we had a good morning. We recorded another show.
Yeah, we did.
You'll be hearing soon. And we don't even try to, pretend that this is something magically happening on the date that you're actually hearing it. But we're making the most of our time here together. And Joe and I spent some time walking around downtown this morning. And I learned a few things. There's a post office in the mall downtown near the Macy's.
That's right. Absolutely.
What else did I learn? I went to visited Media Bridges, where our show is broadcast, and I got to meet the fabulous Katie Finnegan, who is here with us today.
Yep.
And she's a radio facilitator.
Right. We'll be talking to her in a moment here.
And so anyway, it was just nice. Oh, I get to write a segue for the first time.
Oh yeah, you got to write it. We did. We had
we had
a very busy morning.
It was a busy morning. It's nice to be back in studio now, and I'm enjoying Burger Beer here in studio with Joe
and you met Katie Kristen Ayer.
Kristen Ayer,
That's Katie. Kristen.
CEO of Boot Camp Digital. Also someone Joe calls the meanest Canadian.
She's the meanest Canadian I've ever met in my entire life. That would be Kristen Ayer. The social media expert, marketing expert that we have on the show from time to time.
Visit one of her websites and you will see her.
The Marketress, I think it is.
Is that the one where she's holding the machine gun?
No, that's on Facebook. Oh, maybe bootcampdigital.com. I know that one. That's for sure her. Yeah.
That's a frightening thing. But anyway, I'd like to start. We just started a new trend. I remember my quotes.
I was going to say, after I did the intro, I went, oh, I don't know if Brian has a quote for the day.
You forgot to mention Tomlin. We might have Christopher Tomlin on this afternoon also talking about summer movies.
Chris Tomlin. Oh, my God. I totally forgot. Chris Tomlin will be on in a little while.
Yeah, we're hoping to have him on.
God willing.
Talk about the summer movies. But I found a quote that I'd like to use for this little food for thought. We tried one earlier on the earlier episode. We're going to do it again. And this one is from Calvin Coolidge. And he was, for all those that may or may not remember, I think he was president after Woodrow Wilson. So we're talking early 1920s. Anyway, he was not known for being a liberal. And he was known as sort of being kind of a quiet test turn sort of guy.
Interest.
But anyway, I thought this was an interesting quote. He said, "Prosperity is only an instrument to be used, not a deity to be worshipped." So I thought that was appropriate for this day and time. And, of course, when he was president, which was, I believe, right after Warren Harding, I did say, what's his name? Who did I say was he president after? But anyway, that was a time right before the first Great Depression. And so before maybe our second Great Depression.
That meant your time was up.
Is that what that
I'm sorry, no.
So anyway, I just thought that was good food for thought. So thank you for the.
Well, good. I'm going to start something new as well too. I just figured this out. I'm going to do a haiku of the show to start off the haiku. And mine is about, if you're from Cincinnati, you guys might know the Fox 19 has a morning show. It's a #1 rated morning show. You guys are both drinking at the same time. I'm like I'll talk and then you guys drink. That's Katie, who I haven't introduced yet. But Fox 19 is a morning show. It's a #1 rated morning show. I met Megan Mongello for not really technically the first time. I met her before, but I met her. We were doing some stuff with Clark Montessori. So when you listen to all this stuff, hopefully they'll be in the process of preparing for the president to come for the speak at their commencement. But at this moment right now, they're trying to get votes so that the president will come. But Megan was covering it Monday morning, and I met her. I wrote this haiku a while back, but here's the haiku based on that. If you're from Cincinnati, you'll appreciate this. Rob Sheila, 19, mom and dad of the morning, irrelevant news.
You think they'll appreciate that?
I think people that are listening to this will appreciate that. They might not like it as much.
You've met Rob and Sheila, I take it.
I've met Rob. I met Rob and he punched me. It's a true story. And that's when Megan's like, I feel like I've met you before. And I'm like, yeah. We met when Rob punched me.
At your deposition.
At your deposition. That's good. I met Rob at this ATP young professionals thing that they don't even do anymore out of Kings Island during the tennis match, whatever. She was there, and I was talking to Rob, and he was really nice. I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" Blah blah. He's like, and I was like, I think Megan Mongello is really cute, and he's like, "Oh, she's here," and I'm like, "Oh, she is?" He's like, "Hey, Megan," and he called her over, and he's like, "Hey, this guy thinks you're really cute," and I'm like, "Hi, nice to meet you."
Well, that's okay. He was facilitating.
So I didn't want to remind her of that, but that's where she's like, "You look really familiar," and I'm like, "Yeah." And then Rob was punching me. He kept punching me in the shoulder. And the guy, if you ever met Rob, I've met him a couple times. Nice guy, big guy, muscular. He must work out. And he was thought it was the funniest thing in the world.
To watch you cry.
And he was just like, "Oh, that's hilarious." Boom. And he just like punched me. I'm like, "Oh, God, I think I had a bruise on my shoulder." It was insane. So anyway, so you did a quote and I did a haiku.
And you did a haiku. And so as Rob was trying to facilitate some sort of introduction or relationship between you and Megan Monjardo, let's bring in the radio facilitator.
Right. That's good. Mangello. But right, that's good. I like that.
When I say Monjardo, it's because I live in Kentucky.
Monjardo. That's exact. You can't help it.
Can't help it.
You can't help it. And Monjardo is the vice lieutenant governor, right?
Yes, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe so. So.
Well, that was a nice story, Joe.
You want to introduce?
Well, I'm very excited.
You know her better than I did. I just met her today, and she sounds very Irish. Katie Finnegan.
I believe she's actually German. No.
I am actually mostly German.
No kidding.
Yeah.
How do you? Well, hold on. We'll get to that. Well, Katie Finnegan, as I said at the intro, is the low power FM facilitator for Media Bridges. Media Bridges is where somebody's getting a phone call.
It's not me, Joe. That's you over there.
Excuse me. Sorry.
At WVQC Radio.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's great.
Media Bridges. I always call it Media Matters.
Yeah, you do, but it's not.
It's not.
Media does matter, but this is Media Bridges.
Media Matters
There
organization.
is a Media Matter. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. So, but Media Bridges is the basically, well, I'll let Katie talk about that, but she's the person who's in charge of the low power FM station where the Brian and Joe radio show we call home. We're like, WLW is the home of the Reds, and then they send it out to all the affiliate stations. WVQC is the home of the Brian and Joe radio show. That's where it starts, and then it goes out from there.
Exactly.
Very good. So
it's the mothership.
Katie Finnegan, welcome to the Brian and Joe radio show.
Well, hello. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
we're happy to have you.
Now, is Brian and Joe show your favorite show?
No, I don't think I'm allowed to play favorites, but absolutely.
It is one. Oh, great. We're so glad to hear. And before we went on air, of course, we were hammering you. We want to make sure you've listened to an episode. So should we put her on the spot? Should we do a little quiz about?
Yeah, sure, exactly.
About all the past episodes.
Just which one was your favorite one?
I don't know. I've listened to episodes before, but
we believe you. What I would ask is, what do Brian and Joe show? What do we do well? Because we get a lot of criticism.
Yeah, that's right.
I think you guys have a good repertoire with each other.
Yeah. Well, we've.
I wish I knew what that word meant.
That would have been.
Brian, can you explain to me what that means?
So, because that was low, like my
Does
voice
it mean
was underneath yours. I want to say, just Joe and I worked together at camp. So, like when we changed to go swimming or something, we might have. You didn't hear.
What are you talking?
Well, you know,
when we were naked together in the Y locker room, I got to know Joe really well.
She said you had a good repertoire, and I said that's because we've seen each other naked. But you kind of had just jumped.
Oh
in
my
right
God, you were going there.
Well, no, but I just wanted to explain that because some people heard that, despite the fact that you were much louder at that last moment. And I just wanted.
Oh, okay.
We grew up, not grew up, but we became we were teenagers.
We never grew up, actually.
We never grew up.
That's why we've managed to escape adult responsibility.
We do have a good rapport. That's the bottom line. We don't need to talk about ourselves.
Even I don't know what that word means, but that's good.
Yeah.
So
is it fun to listen to?
I like big words.
It is.
Is it fun right now to listen to it?
It's fun right now, and I'm on camera too.
Yeah, you are. Well, only your legs are. I'm like,
only my legs are on camera.
I didn't fix that before the show started. Well, we'll do that during a break. I'll fix it. Oh, okay. Only part of your leg actually. It looks like I'm looking at the monitor right now, but you're.
Point to her, Joe.
There's her hand. Oh, there she is. Here, stick your head in the shot real quick and say hi. There you go. Hey, there's Katie. We're all there. Ooh, fantastic. So if you're listening to this, you have to go really quickly and get the Ustream video and look at it and go forward to the. We're about at 10 minutes, 50 seconds into the show, so you can go forward then.
Well, let's get it back. So we've been messing around a little bit.
Welcome to the ADD.
We're glad that you listened to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for
Even
your
if it's
comments. And if you
only
have some other feedback for us and things we could do better too, we'd love to get that feedback. Really, Joe and I do take it on the chin a lot, but we're still experimenting with style, and not a lot of people are doing what we're doing. Is just attempting to put together good content and bring some of our experiences and stuff to the show. And I think that's what a lot of the people on the station do. So tell me a little bit about WVQC, its mission, and what your job's all about.
Well, our mission is really to build community through radio. We're a low-power station. Our signal is
We have no signal yet.
No signal right now. We're going to be on the FM radio starting this summer on 95.7 FM.
What day? July 4th still?
It's not. We have a tentative day, but
Okay.
no, nothing.
Oh, I thought it was July 4th. So
concrete
I shouldn't have said that.
It's all tentative.
Okay.
We have to go through and get some permits and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So,
But
Is there
we
anything
don't
I
know
could
for
do?
sure. There's still some things that could throw a wrench in there, but we have a good idea of when we're going to be on the air.
You don't. There's no date set.
There's no date set. Not
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
But you can listen online, wvqc.org/listen, right?
Yeah, wvqc.org. You can actually just go to the homepage and do it. You can do it on iTunes.
Right. And we'd like to thank
Windows
both
Media
of the people
Player,
listening
whatever.
right now. Live on WVQC.
Yeah, well, we're not live on, right?
Well,
Yeah, we're
but
not live
we
right
will
now.
be
we
played.
will be. That's
will
right.
be.
This is a recording. We're still trying to explain to Brian how radio works. But oh, that's mean.
That's okay.
Okay.
Okay. I do know how it works.
My mic sounds great.
There's this
by the
Italian
way.
guy named Marconi, right?
Uh-huh.
That's how it all started.
Yeah, and he one day was like cooking some pasta.
Oh, did
Oh, wow. Talk show just died on us.
Oh.
Wow.
Let's go back. She was telling us a little bit about WVQC.
That's okay. Well, I can call. Well, that's okay. We don't need talk show right now. That's fine. We still have this and recording there. So talk show, I'll try to reinitiate it at the break.
Okay.
But talk show has made me angry today. So
Shall we?
Well, anyway, back
Yes.
to WVQC. We're serving the urban core.
Mhm.
We're building community through radio, and we're airing over 40 independent, locally produced shows, all done by volunteers in the area. They cover topics everything from how to get veterans benefits to
oh, really?
spoken word and poetry. We have a lot of spoken word on our station. To jazz and hip hop and whatever genre of music you can think of. We're also playing about 90 hours a week of local music by Cincinnati's best local artists. And if you don't know about Cincinnati's music scene, we have one of the best indie music scenes in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People don't know that. I think people will be
People don't know
shocked
that at
to
all.
know that Cincinnati has it. What? Just sort of off the subject a little bit, but why do you think that is? Any thoughts on that? You're a music
Or
audiophile.
why people don't know it, or why we
Yeah.
have
Why don't
it.
people know that? Why do we have it?
You know, people don't know it. People don't know a lot of things about Cincinnati. We don't wear things out on our sleeve like a lot of other cities. We kind of hide things underneath. My boyfriend calls us the Eeyore of cities. Where we think, oh, we're just Cincinnati, we can't do anything.
I like Nick. He's a nice guy.
The Eeyore. That's
imagine
the
Eeyore.
German. That's the German roots, right? The Germans don't ever talk. They don't wear any feelings on their sleeves, that kind of thing.
Maybe. I think the Irish don't wear.
That is them as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our heritage.
Yeah, our heritage.
Are you a musician?
I'm not a musician.
You're not a musician.
I'm a listener.
But you're a big fan.
Yeah.
And so you say that on the station, I guess a lot of the local music is played
Yes.
on WVQC.
Yeah, and for most of the bands, this is the only place they get exposure. Is on WVQC. Most of the commercial stations in the area don't play any music.
So it's a mixture of music, spoken word poetry, and then a lot of shows that are giving people advice, kind of filling the gaps. So I guess that the commercial radio stations don't put in.
Right.
The how-tos, the what's going on locally.
Right.
So
It's entertainment and information.
So low power FM fills what void in the community? I mean, I guess it fills because commercial radio is now produced kind of on a national level.
Right. We're really filling a local void. And we're not just local, we're hyper-local because we're focusing on the urban core of Cincinnati specifically.
Downtown.
Yeah, and a lot of radio stations are now produced nationally. A lot of the DJs don't even live here anymore. They're
Right.
programmed by people who don't live here either.
It's true.
So we're really filling that local void and giving a voice back to Cincinnati.
Now, Media Matters is the larger organization that WVQC is part of. So
Media
Media
Bridges.
Bridges.
You did that again.
Keep
Yeah, that's
that out
right.
of my
Media
mind.
Bridge.
Yeah, sorry. So Media Bridges.
clear your
I was
brain
thinking in
later.
my mind going bridges. But so it's a larger organization, but you also produce local access cable. I mean, what's the whole?
Yeah, Media Bridges is it's a community media center. We're the steward of the city's 4 public cable access channels, which you can get on Time Warner Cable. We also offer free classes in video production and video editing and graphic design, photography, radio. And we also produce low-cost videos for nonprofits in the area so they can get their message out to people.
Yeah. Okay. How does someone get involved in the in Media Bridges?
You know, they can just walk right down to our building on 1100 Race Street on the corner of Race and Central Parkway. You can take an orientation class, and then
It's
you can
free,
start-
right?
It's free. Almost everything is totally free. You take a free 2-hour class, and then you can use the facility. You can take other classes and learn how to use all the camera equipment. And then you can take that out and shoot your own videos.
Mm-hmm. And you guys shoot like with digital video, and then you edited it on Macs and.
Right, we have about 6 Mac stations set up with Final Cut Pro on them, where
That's
you can
great.
go edit your video.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's pretty good.
It's all
and they're
free.
fast Macs too.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah, it's good.
Now where does Media Bridges get the get their support? I mean, where do they get their funding and things like that?
They're funded through a thing called the franchise agreement.
Yes. Yeah, explain that. That's really interesting. I know a little bit about that.
When Time Warner Cable came into the city.
In the early 80s.
In the early 80s.
Yes.
They wanted to use public lands to lay down their cable lines, like telephone poles and things like that. And so they set up an agreement with the city. The city gets, I think it's 5% of revenues.
Oh, I don't know what it is, the number.
Something like that. And we get, Media Bridges gets 96 cents out of per subscriber for Time Warner Cable.
Is that a monthly basis or a yearly?
It's a monthly basis. And that's where most of our funds come. We are here to serve the public interest of the community. They're saying that if Time Warner Cable is going to use public lands to lay down their cable lines, they should give something back to the community, and that's what Media Bridges is.
Yeah, and you know what? The other thing that's kind of interesting about that when Time Warner came to town, and it was Time Warner Cable back then too. I don't think the name's changed, but as other places have changed, Time Warner's still the same company. But they also said that they were going to provide commercial-free television, and they were going to provide free cable to schools, and they've sort of not lived up to that. But that's a whole other topic, though. There's supposed to be commercial-free television.
That's what I remember. I was like, okay, well, if you have to pay for that, no commercials. Kind of a trade-off, like HBO, right? Or something.
Yeah.
But
well, then after a while, for a while there was not no commercials, and there were a few, and now it's like regular television.
It is, yeah.
And they're actually trying very hard to get rid of the franchise agreement so they don't have to pay those either.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Actually, in July 2011, Media Bridges, there was a law passed in the Ohio State Assembly that Media Bridges will lose its funding in July 2011.
It's already passed?
It's already passed. We're trying very hard. There's a bill in Congress called the CAP Act, because this is happening all over the country. There's a bill in Congress called the CAP Act that would stop that from happening and stop the harm that's been happening to
in the United States Congress, so then it would supersede the state law.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's already been passed in Ohio and then I guess signed by the governor?
Yeah. And we're also trying to go through the FCC and get
why would somebody want that? Why are they? I mean, they want that.
They just want that extra dollar.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting, and that hasn't gotten a lot of attention, right?
It has not gotten a ton of attention.
So at this point, if someone is hearing this is concerned and they want to make sure that
that's a
federal
really
law is passed, they should contact our congressman, which would be Steve Drewhouse.
Steve Drewhouse on the left side of Cincinnati, and then on the right side of Cincinnati, ironically, Gene Schmidt.
Oh, Gene Schmidt, yeah.
On the north side of Cincinnati, John Boehner. On the south side, Jeff Davis.
Yeah.
So write your congressman at this
or
point.
Wherever you are, go to search Google for find my congressional representative. Just type that into Google, and you can put in your zip code plus your zip code, your first 5 plus the 4, and you can find out exactly who your congressman is or congresswoman.
You can also Google search the CAP Act, and you'll
CAP
find
Act.
some petitions to sign and things like that.
CAP, C-A-P?
CAP.
What does it stand for?
It stands for the Community Access Protection.
Okay. Wow. That's really fascinating. I didn't know that. That's a real attack on a First Amendment type thing. And you didn't get any kind of help from any media organizations or anything like that?
You know, there was a big fight when it first passed. It first passed about 5 years ago, and it's going to come into effect in July 2011. So we're really at a turning point for Media Bridges, trying to figure out how to sustain ourselves after that happens, and also trying to figure out how to reverse the harms that have also.
But not like the Society of Professional Journalists or the Broadcasters Association. Nobody got around and said this is bad. This is somebody else's First Amendment. Basically, is being taken away from them.
Right. I wasn't really around when the initial fight happened, so I don't know a whole lot about it.
That's
about 5 years ago.
Embarrassing. That's
It
embarrassing
is.
because we only care about commercial media. Is that
when you-
essentially the message? I guess.
When you think about the First Amendment, that only applies to government-run networks. Your First Amendment is not protected on private-run networks. So if you want to put a video on YouTube and YouTube wants to take it down, they can do that because it's a private
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, well, they own the means to get it out there, right? Which is this is a whole other discussion, but this is another way that our laws can't keep up with the technology, and there's some good points to they don't know what to do because as soon as they get a law, you can't pass laws overnight, but as soon as the law is vetted and argued and then passed and then signed, the technology's changed. So what do you do? And I think that people say the Constitution's perfect, our system's perfect. It's not, because this is a huge problem. It's not going to be able to keep up with technology.
I don't necessarily think it's just about keeping up with technology. I think this has to do with a lot of regressive lawmaking that's been happening for 20 to 30 years.
What, regressive, you said?
Yeah, I mean, people, they don't want to fund libraries. This is the commons. We haven't been taking, what's been happening in the last 30 years in the United States is the privatization of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, when you and I started college, there was still a law banning companies from owning all the media in one market. Well, that's pretty much gone.
Yeah.
There was a limit to what you could own. So this is sort of the erosion of old laws. So, but with that, perhaps it's time to take a break here.
Yeah, let's take a quick break. We'll be back on the Brian and Joe Radio Show on WVQC and Katie Finnegan right after this.
Got something to say? Call us live during the show at 724-444-7444. Use show code 71029.
This is Darren Blaze from Shake It Records, and you're listening to the Brian and Joe Radio Show.
Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/Brian Joe Show. The Brian and Joe Radio Show is a great way to get a whole lot out of an hour. Not only will you hear compelling guests talking about everything from politics to humor to music to everything else, you'll probably laugh and maybe agree with us. Or not. Tune into the Brian and Joe Radio Show here on WVQC every Tuesday from noon till 1 p.m. Eastern Time. In exchange, you will hear topics that matter to you, delivered with insight and humor, seriousness, and lightheartedness that will leave you with a little more in your head and make you darn interesting at cocktail parties. The Brian and Joe Radio Show every Tuesday, noon to 1 p.m. on WVQC 95.7 FM, Radio Free Cincinnati. Want to be heard? Call our listener line at 513-443-BJRS or send us a text message at the same number, 513-443-BJRS.
We can talk all night, we can talk all day. We can play charades when there is nothing to say. You turn me on to the idea of growing old.
You want to bring us back, B?
I can make you angry, you can make me smile. We can make origami with the kids.
Welcome back to the Brian and Joe Radio Show. I'm Brian Mueller with
Joe Wessels.
And if you were listening before, you heard Katie Finnegan. She's the radio facilitator at WVQC, part of Media Bridges.
Bridges.
And shortly before we were on break, we were talking a little bit about the CAP Act. But maybe we can... that was a very serious topic, talking about the funding of Media Bridges and CAP Act, some of the changes in legislation that's going to lead to some defunding unless more legislation is passed at a national level. But, Katie, let me ask you what brought you to WVQC Media Bridges.
Well, I had always liked Media Bridges. I knew their mission. I hadn't really been there, and I've been around a lot, but I knew their mission, and I supported their mission. And I saw a job posting on Craigslist for an AmeriCorps Vista, which is how my position is funded. It's sort of like the Peace Corps in America.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I work full-time at a nonprofit at Media Bridges, and then I get a stipend to cover my living expenses.
Does that also cover student loans, anything like that?
I can put my student loans in forbearance for the 2 years that I'm there.
Duration.
Yeah.
So this is a limited time position. So you're only going to be at Media Bridges for a couple years?
Yes. Vistas are normally there a year. I stayed on for a second year.
Okay, so you're into your second year already.
Yeah. So I'll be here until the end of August.
Oh wow, it's such a short time. So you're not
Yeah,
going to
it's
see.
not much longer at all.
No.
You may not see the Brian and Joe show rise to national prominence.
Well, but I'll be watching.
She'll be
I'll be listening.
That's good. Good answer. Good answer. Good answer.
Watching on Ustream.
Yeah.
So you were talking a little bit about how everything before the break, and I think that's a pretty interesting topic about how there's just no commons left. There's no public commons. Everything now is supposed to be privatized. Mm-hmm. Did you finish your point really, or did you want to?
I did. I still really want to have some talk about. I want to talk about. I mean, this is something that we could bring a lot of people in and talk a lot of different opinions about. But certainly, I've watched it happen in my life, and it's not something that I saw one thing or read one thing or one specific event made me think this, but it's really been something that's happened over the course of our lifetime. And fortunately, we still have our national parks, we still have our city and local parks, but you wonder how much longer you're going to have those sorts of things because, we lived, my wife and I lived in New Orleans. A lot of our shows at least partially originated from New Orleans at the beginning of this year. And down there, they really have no public school system left. Before Katrina, it was very much on the ropes. They were having a lot of problems with public schools. And when Katrina came back, the fastest way to bring their schools back was with private. There were a lot of private entities that were willing to set up charter schools. And they have a strong Catholic school system, private school system down in New Orleans, too. So there's virtually no public school system left. And, I mean, if that doesn't alarm people, I mean, one of the...
I don't know what will,
I think education is a civil right in this, in this country. And very important. So, yeah, we could talk a whole lot more about that. But
And even the internet, there was a big decision on net neutrality in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
No, it was very bad. Comcast had decided a while ago that they were going to block certain peer-to-peer file sharing sites.
Right.
And the FCC said no, they had to give equal right to all websites on the internet. And there was a court case about it. And Comcast won, and the court told the FCC they didn't have the power to regulate
the internet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
So that can lead to things like companies giving you faster access to sites that pay money.
Sure.
To get that faster access.
Yeah, and none of them have been